So we're just going to jump right into talking about trades I'm in, and I want to walk you through why I'm in them and how I manage and go through them. Now, some quick overview of what I do is I'm trading futures on a 1-minute chart of the MES futures, and then all I'm looking for is reversals on the market. I keep it really simple and just trade based on the price action. And so all I do is I actually look on a 15-minute chart, and this is where I draw support and resistance levels off of significant areas in the market. And then as the market gets to those levels, I jump into a 1-minute chart and actually look for a reversal pattern, something like a double bottom, and then I jump in on a trade. And then I just manage it based on the swings and what I see the market doing. And so for this trade here, the market has made a really nice push higher, and this is signaling that buyers are coming in on the level. And so this down here, this blue box, that's my support level. The market looks like it's reversing here because it has had a really strong few bars here where buyers are coming in. And this high here takes out the previous high, and that is starting to show here we're in a downtrend with looking at the highs here, and now we might potentially look to go into an uptrend. I wasn't able to get in on this initial low, and that's okay because I'm seeing here that the market has come up and it's chopping here, and a lot of the time when it does that, sometimes it can push higher. And so when I saw this really big green bar right here, I jumped in because I thought, hey, it looks like buyers are coming in still and looking to pick up. This is really just kind of a bull flag here, and I'm thinking that it's gonna break higher here and we might get another push higher. And so I get in on that, and I'm gonna put my stop below the bull flag here because I don't want to let the market really pull back against me, and I want to keep my losses small and allow my winners to be really large. And that really pays off in the long run for me because I'm only right about 50% of the time, and that's okay because when you're wrong, you lose a little, and when you're right, you win a lot more. And so here it looks like it's starting to get going. I'm going to move my stop to break even because the market has moved significantly in our favor, and if it just decides to come back, I want to get out because I don't want to mess around with having it go against me now and potentially lose on the trade now that we're up. If the market decides to come back, knock me out, and keep going up, that's okay. Generally, the better trades don't come back and get you out. Most of the time, the good trades will just keep moving up like this. And so that's more of what I'm looking for. Like I said before, we are at this area of the market open, and we're starting to find some resistance here. The market has a little bit of a pullback, and so I'm going to move my stop up below that pullback because, again, like I said, the good moves are when the market just has one kind of quick pullback and keeps going up. And if it's going to have some kind of weird double top here and actually come back lower, I want to take my profits and get out. It'll be small profits because usually I'm looking for swings in the market. But again, I like to just go with what the market's giving me, and I don't know what the market's going to do, right? You can only see what the market's telling you and make a good judgment call based on that. And sometimes you're right and sometimes you're wrong. And so here, this looks pretty bearish because the market has made kind of a double top here, and it looks like it's going to knock me out, and it does. And so that's totally okay because, again, I want to get out if the market is going to stop there because it looks like it could probably come back. And so you can see the market did move all the way back to the lows here, and we would have got stopped out if we tried to stay in that trade. And so that's totally fine. We were able to get a small move, but hey, that's still a move and still good profit in the market. I think that trade was maybe about $200, and that's still a nice profit in the market. And so here we're back at these lows, and because the market is kind of swinging back and forth here, and again, this big level down here has an overall good chance of pushing the market back higher. I want to get in again to go long here because, hey, this could be kind of a double bottom, and the market could find some support here again and push higher. This could just be an initial buyers coming in, starting to buy this level, and then some sellers wanting to keep pushing this lower, thinking that the overall trend is going to keep going lower. But in reality, they're missing that the overall trend is actually reversing here, and that it's better that they stay out of the shorts and betting that the market's going to go lower, and actually look for the market to go higher. And so this looks like a pretty good bottoming pattern here. The market's starting to chop a little. We have a really big flush bar here, and then some chop, and then a couple big green bars. And you can see there's a nice little higher low here. And so I'm going to get in based on that. And again, put my stop below this, because if the market takes this out and keeps going lower, I would just want to get out because I'm wrong. And that's okay, right? You just want to get out when you're wrong. Keep your losses as small as possible. And when you're right, let things play out. And so the market kind of chops around for a while, and that's okay. Usually when the market starts chopping like this, it can be really nerve-wracking to hold through. But in reality, a lot of the times it's a good sign for the market reversing, because when you have a downtrend, well, before it turns into an uptrend, a lot of the time it'll go into a sideways trend, and then it will start going up. So of course, sometimes you can have where it just goes down and goes straight up, but a lot of the times it will go into that sideways trend first. And why we don't want to manage this too quickly, because if I moved to break even anytime the market was up here, well, the market would have just come down and knocked us out. And so that is definitely something we want to avoid when the market has been choppy like this. And we can tell that the market has been choppy, and it's going to be a little bit choppy, because if we just look to the left of the chart, you can see the market's been choppy already. And so the market likes to just do what it's been doing, and that's been pretty choppy, and then it's been having spike moves between those chops. And so it's likely that we have a spike move here and then just some chop. And so I want to get out, somewhere up here, kind of like we did up over on this trade, because I don't want to stay in when that chop is happening, because you don't know what's going to happen. Is it going to chop and then reverse, or it could chop and keep going higher? But because we kind of have this potential resistance level up here, that's a good area to get out. And so I'm going to actually look to get out if the market starts to have a pullback here, because we've had such a fast move up. When the market has fast moves up, it's likely that it has a fast move down as well. And on a day like this, the market is being pretty back and forth, and I just want to get out and get my profits. And so I got out here, and that's okay. Totally good getting out there. I was still up about $300 on this trade, and that is perfectly okay. That's about 1.5 times my risk. I usually get a little bit more than that, but again, you gotta just go with what the market gives you. So here we are at another good level, and we have a nice, pretty big red bar bounce off of this. And so I'm actually gonna get in here, and it's pretty aggressive entry, and that's okay. Sometimes the market moves really quickly, and you can make a judgment call to get in on a really big red bar that is showing good rejection. Now, it can be pretty aggressive and not always the best trade, but I'm going with my read here in terms of we have this little uptrend. It's broken that uptrend, and it's made one kind of final test, and it's touched our level. And so I want to get in based on that idea. The market here is kind of pretty back and forth, and that all we need to do is have kind of a little, I'm just looking for a quick little pullback here. And again, sometimes you're wrong, and that's okay, especially with these aggressive entries. I don't like taking them very often, but sometimes they work out and sometimes they don't, right? You don't have to be right every time when it comes to trading. Now, in this same spot, just because we failed one time on potentially getting in, we don't want to just walk away and wait for the market to hit a different level, because sometimes the market does what I like to call a failed breakout. And so you can see the market attempted to break out of this level, and now it's having a strong rejection, and this big red bar is coming really far back in, and it's taking out a lot of these green bars here. And I like that in terms of trapping a lot of breakout traders. Breakout traders will see, hey, we just broke above this high. I'm going to bet we're going to keep going long. And And what happens is they buy in, and then the market actually says, hey, we actually are going to keep going lower. And all these people now are losing on their trade, and they're going to get out somewhere down here or down here. And so I'm going to get in right here, betting that we are going to push back down to this chop area. This is kind of a minor support level, and then put my stop above this high. And so I might be wrong. The market could just keep going higher. That definitely does happen in a strong uptrend. I want to get out if it does do that, or if it just keeps going lower, great. We don't have to think about that. Just zooming forwards here in this trade, the market does start to break down here really well. And again, this is kind of an aggressive entry too, but as you can see, sometimes they do pay off. And so when it comes to trading, you have to figure out what kind of trades you want to be taking. Do I want to be taking aggressive trades that don't work as often, but I don't want to be missing out on these quick reversals when they do happen? Or am I okay taking those safer trades that are less aggressive, but I will miss out on some moves like this? And so that's kind of something you have to figure out as you become a trader. So if you want more on this, I do have videos that dive way more in depth into the nuts and bolts on how I do these strategies. And as well, definitely feel free to comment below, ask questions, and I will try and get back to them.